What I wish I would have known before becoming a qualified accountant. Well, you're in the right place because I'm delighted to welcome onto the channel today Lucy, who is a qualified accountant. She's going to share her experiences of setting up her own practice, AAT qualified. So if you've got any questions, guys, leave us a comment below. But without any further ado, Lucy, feel free to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lucy. I am the owner here at Simplex Accounting. So I started the business 3 years ago, and yeah.
Lovely stuff. And it's own practice. You deal with clients. Just give a little insight to the viewers as to how you're taken your accounting skills and then applied them.
As I say, I started the practice 3 years ago. We've now got a client base of about 60 clients, and we literally started from the ground up, no clients. So was very, very exciting journey. But yeah, wouldn't change it.
Oh, mega. That's awesome because there'll be people here who are going to be looking at this going, oh, maybe I want to start my own practice. How do I go about it? These sort of things. But if we arc back to those sort of maybe your exam phase or what sort of springs to mind when you think, oh my word, I wish I'd have known that before becoming an accountant?
Quite a lot of things really. It's very, very different to when you're studying, certainly when you're studying AAT.
Mm,
Um, One of the things that always springs to mind is, you've got to be really good at maths. Nowadays, I tell the amount of people I speak to, and they say, "I bet you're really good at maths," and I think, not necessarily. No, we don't really need to be, because yeah, we just use so many tools.
mm.
Obviously, you need to know what's going on in the calculations, but yeah, so that's definitely one of them, is that you don't actually need to be really good at maths.
Yeah, not to put anyone off. I mean, my old accounting tutor, she did chemistry before she got qualified. There's no one size that you have to do to actually just say, if you don't do accounting, you don't do finance at uni or any other courses, that you can't be an accountant on there. But away from maths, like what about the sort of people skills, the way that you interact with clients, the way that the business works? Like what has really surprised you from being an accountant that could help someone out on their journey?
Yeah, so I think it really depends sort of business to business and how, if you're working in a business or in practice.
Mm,
Um, so there's all sorts of different things. I mean, when you're in practice, it's very much more, timesheet orientated,
yeah.
and like you might have a lot of contact with the clients, you might have really great relationships with those clients. You might see it from sort of start the work all the way to the end. Um, Other times you're in practice and you're sort of turning out the work a little bit more. It's more, you don't even know the client, you haven't spoken to the client, and
Mm,
you're just getting your job done. And then we have the business side of things where I guess you're literally working for that single business. So yeah, very different sides of things and very different sort of way of working.
yeah, exactly. And I used to work in practice for 3 years as well. But if anyone's watching this who's going, what on earth are James and Lucy going on about? Working in practice? Well, the usual sort of things there are actually computating someone's tax return, producing their company accounts. There may be some financial planning. There's so many different areas. And that's why I really liked working in practice when I was doing my studies, because I got to experience so many different areas: financial accounting, bit of taxation, management accounting. I even did the company website as well because I was just the youngest in the office, and I went, I'm sure it'll be good at that sort of thing. But what are the other like major sort of skills that you've developed from? Lots of people think accounting, calculator, sat in a corner, grey suit, those sort of things. Not to take, that wasn't a joke about your grey jacket there. But what sort of things spring to mind from a people side on there that you go, what kind of roles you're doing? I don't know, what from your experience, what do you think would help someone who's listening to this who's completely new to accounting?
Yeah, I think it really depends business to business, but I think you can get involved with a business or an accountancy practice where you've got so much involvement day to day. You're
Mm,
literally, they still come into the office and you can greet them, and you have that side of things. So I think it really does depend, but I think just in general with accountancy, people do their accountancy qualifications and don't always go down the same route. They don't,
Mm,
it's not for them. And I think one of the things I really found with different accountancy jobs was that you can choose what area you like and you
yeah.
can learn and understand that. And I think that's so important because you think about it, one day you might be doing VAT returns and you might be doing accounts, but actually you might think, I don't actually like doing this part. I like doing this.
Mm,
Or I don't like being part of just payroll or just a section of the business. I actually want to see the whole job through. So I think there's different businesses for different people, and there's different, some people are brilliant accountants behind the scenes and they do not want to talk to a client. They don't want to deal with it. And that's totally fine. But I think it's finding the job for you and working out the area. So you might you might decide to go and try a job in management accounts. That way you're then getting that experience of, is this something for me? Do I want to go
mm,
down this route? Because I think with accountancy, it is actually really wide. It's not
mm,
just practice or business. You think about the amount of types of industries for businesses, you can go down so many routes and you can choose an industry that you love and then do their accounts.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I remember sort of arcing back to when I was a student at university. I just thought, oh, well, if I become an accountant, then I'm just an accountant, and then that's sort of what I
yeah,
do. And then it's only when you start the studying process, maybe I went on an internship, then I got a graduate sort of role on there. And then I realized, oh, hang on, you've got a payroll department, then you've got your sort of audit areas, then you've got your management accounts. And I was only in a small practice, 20,
yeah,
30 people. You could go work in industry, go work for Coca-Cola, Microsoft, anywhere like that. And you can just go on rotation. You can try different areas. They have internal training plans. Just put yourself out there, do your research for it, and don't be afraid to actually maybe reach out. Like use platforms like LinkedIn. Go and speak to other accountants on there and say to them, like, what bits do you enjoy? And then trying to line it up on there. Would you say that would be good advice for maybe someone who's completely new to the industry or maybe looking for a career change?
yeah, 100%. I think your exams and like the beginning of studying does show you what you enjoy as well.
Mm,
There might be certain areas that you think, oh, I'm going to pick, because with AAT you can pick the extra exams. And yeah, you can then pick what you want to go down. And you think, oh, I might try business, I might try this. And you can then test the water with those. And the ones you enjoyed, they might actually be really good sort of ideas for what you might like on the
yeah.
outside world, I guess,
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
job.
yeah, exactly. And touching on the exams, because that's another factor of what I wish I'd have known before becoming
Yeah,
an accountant. And it's just one of those sort of hard lines that you say it's professional, actual qualifications that you need to get. But there are qualifications out there like AAT, or you have the foundation papers in ACCA, ICAW, which I think are fantastic, just to sort of give you a feel for it. Try level 2, level 3 AAT and see if it's for you as well. Maybe you can actually get an employer to pay for it. I mean, is that sort of what was your mindset when you were first doing your exams and really starting out?
yeah. I think for me, I took it very seriously and thought, it's the end of the world if I don't pass an exam. And
Mm,
actually, I think it's really important to remember we are all human, and these things are really difficult. They're difficult on purpose for
mm,
us to get through. But actually, if you really see, think if you try and apply real life to the exams, you'll realize that it is literally testing sort of what you
yeah.
need to know on the outside world.
Mm,
And when you start to put those together, it won't feel so difficult. Um, but yeah, I think just in general with exams, yeah, it can feel like a lot of information, but just trying to tie it in. I mean, if you're in a job, I think that's a really important time to go to your employer and say, how does this relate to
yeah.
what I do?
Mm.
That's
How's
that
it going
is
to progress on there?
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, I mean, for me, I have an apprentice who is on the AAT scheme at the moment, and it's all about supporting and saying, right, well, what are you doing at the moment? Okay, is that something we can show you? Because actually it's not just in exams, but actually it's in the real world. This is how it
Mm,
actually looks. Because sometimes it does look really different and takes that real life experience to make it click. And
yeah,
then suddenly it all clicks into place and
exactly.
everything's actually fine.
Yeah, no, that real world application as well. If I remember reading about it when I was about 18 and going, right, if you want to be on the board of directors of a FTSE 100 company or the S&P 500, like what skills do you need to have? And the majority of them on there are qualified accountants, because if you don't know the numbers, then how are you meant to be making these sort of strategic decisions on there? And then when I got into my studies a bit more, I was learning about tax and financial accounting, all these different areas we were talking about. But then the positive side on your own personal life, like because you know about accounting, setting up your own business, double entry on there as well, you go, oh my word, these are the skills. Like if you ever want to set up your own business or get good at personal finance, that even if you're new to accounting, it will help you dramatically on there. Well, I mean, has that helped you in your like your personal life, the application to the real world as well?
Oh, massively. I definitely think as an accountant, it doesn't always make you a fantastic business owner. I mean, for
Mm,
myself, I've found, oh, I'm really good. I'm an all right accountant,
mm,
I'll start my own business. And then you start it and you think, okay, actually, I haven't learned how to be a business owner yet. I've learned
mhm.
how to be an accountant. There's loads of skills of being an accountant that are really, really foundational things that basically really help you with your business. Um, and it's funny, I even have clients who have studied accountancy and are very, very, or have been very, very good at it. And again, they are very, very good. Although we do their accounts, they are very good at running their business and understanding what we're going on about. So um yeah, I think it is really important and it does help you. It's little things, isn't it? Like the bank, it's little
Yeah.
things like understanding when something happens, what it actually means.
Mm,
Um, I mean, when you have real life experience, you then have to do your own business stuff if you start your own business. You have obviously bank stuff again in personal life. So yeah, if your partner's, self-employed, again, you start to get the gist of
get it.
things and understand. It all
Yeah.
just starts to make sense.
Yeah, exactly. And then lots of people think it's sort of like a quick fix sort of thing, or it'll only be sort of a 6 month. You got to be thinking long term on there. Granted, if you do some of the AAT courses or just any introduction to accounting courses on there, I can link a couple below if anyone wants me to drop me a comment on there. But just thinking about it, if you go through the whole process, it's going to be 3, 4 years down there for it. That's another thing what I wish I'd have known when I first started as to get the proper, to get the ACCA qualification I'm qualified by, I needed to work in a practice for 3 years. That's a big commitment to someone's life on there. But I mean, are there any other final areas, Lucy, that spring to your mind that you go, I've got to get that on record? It could help someone out.
Yeah, I think you did hit the nail on the head there with like it does take a long time and
Mm,
it's one of those risks where you say to yourself, right, well, it is actually going to take a long time and do I really want it? And I think sometimes doing some of the earlier exams and then finding out through experience, if you can, obviously,
mm.
is a really, really good hint because yeah, I think you're then gaining that experience and you'll actually find out before you go down that route because obviously you don't want to waste your time. But yeah, you'll find out what works well for you and
Yeah,
hopefully
exactly.
that helps someone.
Oh no, definitely. Well, guys, we're also going to be doing another video with Lucy, what she wished she would have known at the start of her AAT journey. So make sure you check that out on the channel because that's also going to be uploaded. But I have to say, Lucy, a massive, massive thank you to coming on the channel today for your debut as well. I hope you've enjoyed it
Okay.
and thank you for sharing all those insightful tips.
Thank you so much for having me.
Lovely. Well, guys, I've put all of Lucy's details in the description of this video. Feel free to get in touch. She's absolutely lovely, as you can see from today's video. If you've got any other questions, and of course, make sure you like and subscribe because we'll see you on the other side now. I'll link it up at the top, Lucy's second video about her studying experience as well. So we'll see you soon. And thank you very much, Lucy. Cheers.
Thanks for having me. Bye.